Hey everyone, welcome back. Here with another episode with Lukasz and Eric. Yeah, we're becoming this popular crew with the audience now.
I told you, we're here for the drinks, Prabhul. That's the only reason we're here.
So in today's episode, we wanted to discuss sports cars that will appreciate over time that are under 250K. Mm-hmm. And kind of our assignment for this week was, let's each of us pick 3 cars that fit this bill, that'll appreciate over time under 250K.
All right.
And that's what we will discuss today. We did set some boundaries, and we didn't want to set like $1 million car, $2 million car that are an obvious moneymaker.
Right.
So we're not billionaires. I don't think we can afford to put a couple of $1 million in cars. Maybe you guys are. I'm not. I can't afford it.
Well, and I think it's not really, it's stating the obvious. If you can get a LaFerrari in the future, it's always going to be worth more.
It'll depreciate. Yeah, it'll definitely.
You think so?
Yeah. Hey, maybe in a different alternate reality.
Maybe if the engine fails and it's only electric.
I like my picks, though. I think
Yeah.
I think they're going to be a big hit.
I think it's worthwhile to maybe lay out a disclaimer on this one.
Okay. What's the disclaimer?
Well, mainly for the audience as well, to say, and these are our opinions. You know, we can't predict the future. These are our...
This is not financial advice.
Yes. It's not based on any facts.
Right.
So any comments that come into this video about, oh, you guys don't know what you're talking about.
This is strictly for fun.
Exactly. Yeah. Please don't go off and buy a car and expect, to make money next year because we recommend it or we discussed it in this podcast. So...
Yeah. But I think my picks are really good, so you should probably listen up.
Yes. So with that, let's dive in.
Okay.
So you've had some picks. You've had some picks. I've
Yeah.
had a couple of extra picks. I couldn't quite decide as usual, so I've got a bit more.
All right, let's see
usual.
them. Let's see the board.
It's not like you to be so indecisive.
Hey, man. I have to stay consistent.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
okay.
Before we go there, let's maybe talk about our rules as well. When you pick these cars, we can maybe talk about kind of the criteria in which you decided to pick these cars as well.
Okay.
But the initial rules were, it had to be under 250K, no hypercars, no numbered cars like Porsche Sport Classic. They're still in the 250K, but for example, you get one of those, it's an instant moneymaker.
Right.
So we avoid cars like that. And we want to see if these cars will appreciate significantly, like at least by 10%, you know?
And I think Lukasz had a good point too for the channel is no Porsches on the list because
No obvious appreciating assets.
Come on, don't shit on
they're great cars, but I think let's show the audience that we are well-rounded car people.
Damn it.
Well,
Are you guys going to shit on my
Prabhul.
picks? Come on. Okay, let's not get to me yet. Let's just
50% of those are Porsches. All right. Okay. All right.
So,
Wow, you have a lot of cars there, Prabhul.
hey, I have check boxes beside them.
What does that mean?
Those are my top 3 of all the other ones that we can
Okay,
shortlist.
all right.
Okay.
So, there are some talking points.
All right.
In terms of what you would buy, would you consider new or used? And that's one of the things that I was thinking in my head as well. And for me, a lot of the thinking was, if I can get into a car that's under 250K, brand new, it's almost like it's a secure way or risk.
I think it's the opposite, actually.
Oh, yeah?
I think, the whole cardinal rule is the minute you drive a new car off the lot, the paradigm used to be you lost 30% right away. So I think we've lived through the last couple of years where it's been a bit different.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's the norm. I think that's the exception.
I was trying to find other cars that performs like a GT3, GT2 RS.
Oh, this is just another Porsche podcast then, isn't it?
No, I just, because there is a bubble that this Porsche, the GT cars are in, and this bubble has to exist outside in other brands as well, right? I would think.
A little bit.
Yeah.
So did you based your picks off of mainly, I guess, new cars? No, used cars.
There's some used, but there's some used cars in there as well.
Yeah.
But those were some of my thought process that went into
All
it
right.
as well.
So let's see who wants to go first and overview their vehicles.
Is there anything else you wanted to set up before we go?
Well, I mean, I had some things, and we can discuss this later. When we talk about these cars, we can touch on those points as well in terms of why you picked the cars you picked. So maybe we could start with you, Eric, just
right.
like last time.
Okay, so these are my picks. The three are the B7 Audi RS4.
Oh, I have that car in my garage.
Yeah, you've got one.
Tarsi's probably loving this right
You should
now.
sell it.
Yep. I'm gonna sell to Tarsi.
The 03, 04 Terminator Cobra, and then a C6 Z06.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm gonna start in the top left,
Well,
so
point the
it's
finger
the
here.
B7 RS4. So I think this is a really special car. It's made in 2007, 2008. Had the 4.2 V8 that would later find its way into the R8. So it's a great, motor, timing chain problems aside. But you're getting a European sedan, 4-door, made it to a manual transmission, kind of one of the last of that era.
With the gearbox.
Yeah. And, six-speed manual.
Yeah, 6-speed manual.
Yeah. And
Was it 4.2 liter V8?
Yeah.
that's right. These cars are 40 for a decent example. You get higher mileage, but I think it'd be a nice piece.
That's my only thing is all the cars that you see on Auto Trader now are high mileage cars, right? I don't know how much Tarsi's car has.
Tarsi's car, I'm not sure what the mileage is, but I washed the car because he brought it back from the body shop after getting the bumper resprayed, and the car looks great. Like the only really weathered parts are the seats, and not even that they're like cracked up.
But
or
they're
old.
beautiful seats.
They're beautiful
Yeah.
seats,
For a
but they're.
stock
I think just after a while they got shiny. Lack of just regular maintenance and cleaning and conditioner.
We touched on this in our carbon bucket seats topic.
Yeah.
Probably one of Audi's best seats at
Yeah.
the time.
So think like my connection to that car is my first new car was an Audi A4 S line, but the salesman had taken me out for a drive in an RS4, and it was more than I could afford at the time. But it was like $108,000
Brand new,
at the time,
And now,
and now they float around 40, again, higher mileage. I just think it's certainly not going to be worth less in the future, given manual transmission in a 4-door sedan. I think it's a winner. And it's 420 horsepower. You're gonna have lots of fun in that car. I think it's a great pick.
I think it looks great as well. I can't wait to see what Tarsi does with it.
Yeah, it's very subtle, right, over the other B7, A4, and S4. It's got the wider fender flares.
Yeah.
So it's great. So that's my first pick. Eric Thor guarantee that will be worth more. Sell everything you own and buy a
It's
whole
going to
bunch of those.
appreciate over 10% in the next few years.
Yeah, for sure. I think it already has.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I don't know the second one. That's like a Mustang.
It's a
That is
Cobra.
a Mustang Cobra. So
Yeah.
it's a 2003, 2004. It's a very special year. So in 2001, Ford had released the Mustang, and they had overstated the horsepower numbers, and it was a bit of an embarrassment in the industry for that time. So they took a year off of the Cobra, so there was no 2002, and they came back to market with the 03 and then 04. And it's a 4.6 liter dual overhead cam. It's got the root style blower on top of it. And imagine you're making 40 grand back in the day. You could go into the dealer, probably get one of those for 45 grand.
Yeah.
What's it at now?
Well, that's what they are. They're probably, for a good example, you're about 45 grand now for one.
Yeah.
But you could
unless you find one that's Misty Chrome, then it's probably like 75.
I saw one a year ago, Mr. Chrome in Canada, for 45, 50 grand, and I should have bought it because it had about 40,000 kilometers on it.
So Misty Chrome, for those who don't know, Misty Chrome is like a chameleon paint job that was factory available on the Mustangs. So a little bit passe maybe right now.
It's like Chromaflare.
Yeah. Almost,
Yes,
exactly.
yes, exactly. It has blue, purple, green kind of hues, right?
That's cool.
Yeah.
But you were the king of the street in 03, 04, and you could spend, call it $2,000. You do a pulley swap and a tune, and you could get 600 horsepower out of that car.
Yeah.
Out of a Ford Mustang. It had forged internals, so it could handle all kinds of boost. And it was such an awesome sounding car. It had that whine, that supercharger whine.
I think that car was really known for that whine.
Yeah.
Every video you ever saw of that car was just a head-on view.
Yeah, That is a great. That is exactly how it sounded. It was no cap. That's how it sounded.
Hey, a hidden skill.
I think the
Car sounds.
What was that?
That was not my pick.
It's a lot of.
That's cool. I mean, would you not worry about sort of maintenance issues and reliability issues?
No,
not in that car.
These are so easy to work on.
Bulletproof.
The other special thing about the car, it did say forged internals, but it has independent rear suspension, which is unusual. Mustangs to that time always had a solid rear axle. Even the GT variant of that year would have had a solid rear axle, but the Cobra, the Terminator, had an independent rear suspension.
Just the rear.
The rear.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
That's still massive, eh?
Yeah.
Wow.
For that, and there was when you ran the high horsepower, you'd sometimes snap half shafts, but overall, I think it was a pretty bulletproof platform. I think the elusive thing would be able to try to find one that was, they were all tuned and worked on. I'm okay with that. But if you're a true collector, it'd be harder to find a unmolested.
Well, Prabhul's criteria has to be driven at least 8,000 kilometers per year.
I have that.
So you're not a collector.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that is pick number 2. I think that's gonna do well. And then the last one I had was the C6Z06.
Sexy looking car.
Yeah, I think that was
carbon ceramic brakes as
No,
well.
no. Well, that's
later on in the run. Yeah. It did in the carbon package, because I think the one you have up is the carbon
yes.
version that was like a 2012. I think that's the last year of it before it went to the C7. But from 06, that's when they introduced it. It was the 7-liter 505 horsepower. It had it advertised on the side.
Yeah,
I remember.
Yeah, it's like somewhere around.
That's
there.
right.
Yeah.
What was cool about that is the front quarters were carbon fiber. I think that was like the newest, the only car at that point that Chevy had made that had that. Right, carbon fiber for weight savings. They were after sort of those elusive horsepower to weight ratios. I think it still looks great.
I think the Corvettes look so amazing.
Yeah.
It's such good looking cars.
Listen, I spent all of winter looking at ZR1s,
Yeah.
right? And it was...
And it would be the same. I would include the ZR1 on that board too.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
So
it's fantastic
Z06
motors.
or ZR1?
So I
If
said
we were to
Z06,
buy.
but
Well, this specific car, I don't know, did you choose the carbon edition? Because that's a
No.
rare car.
yeah, that of course. But
That's
a moneymaker.
Yeah.
I think that's already over $100,000 right now.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
Sure the carbon, because it did have CCDs.
Yes.
The carbon edition did.
Yeah. But
So
it's,
there were some Z06s when you were looking on Auto Trader. There was a couple of Z06s with carbon brakes.
but that's very rare.
The C7 had for sure. I didn't know the
C6
had them.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's a rare option or package on that car.
Yeah.
Most of the Z06s had steels. The ZR1 gave you like the carbon roof, carbon splitters, carbon CCBs,
Yeah.
a lot of the kind of add-ons that the Z06 normally didn't come with. That's the main reason why you'd want a ZR1
Yeah.
minus the power also, right? But
Agree with that pick?
Yeah,
Yep.
and the other just final LS7 in it, and 6-speed, of course. They only came in a 6-speed. So I just think they trade at $70,000 roughly. I think right now, maybe even a bit less.
Well, the really nice spec was around $100,000 right now, 109.
Yeah, I think depending on the mileage, you could go anywhere from 50
that was
to 70.
ZR1.
The ZR1's okay.
They're about 115, 125 Canadian
Yeah.
for a used ZR1. And that's assuming brand new they were 150.
Yeah.
So they're still holding value really well.
Yeah.
So if you can hang on to them for 5 years or so, it'll and you clean them, mod it tastefully,
Yep.
it's going to boost up in value.
Yeah, it's beautiful, and the carbon's a great example of it. But those are my 3, what I think are my winners. I did have one, but we'll go.
We'll get to the duds.
Okay, at the end.
Okay,
At
all
the
right.
Let's continue the happy note.
Yeah, happy note. All right, so I'm next. I see.
All right, Lucas.
Yeah, so I chose these 3 cars. F87 M2. I think that was one of BMW's highlight cars in the modern era, and it had almost all the important analog components that made it a good driver's car.
Yeah.
Great looks, great chassis, shorter wheelbase, good motor, great distribution, very analog kind of inside, proper driver's car, modern driver's car. And I think everything going forward is going to be hybrid based or something else. So this was a manual, modern 2-door coupe
Great
for a very, very like realistic and affordable price.
Yeah.
So I don't think this car is going to depreciate going
so
forward.
which variant of the M2? The competition, the CS? all of
So
those, you think?
really the competition and higher, because the introduction model was the N55.
Yeah.
Obviously
That's
it probably
less
is
desirable.
it's not gonna do as well as the S55s. So competition, CS is an obvious kind of automatic appreciating vehicle since it's limited, but just the competition model will appreciate, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And then next on.
And I love the proportions of that car. I've always thought
It is. It's a lot of people actually said it reminds them of an E46 M3 in terms of proportions and size.
Hey, I'm kind of excited about my new M2.
Yeah.
Hopefully it fits into that category. There's rumors that they're not going to do a competition variant of the G87 M2.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, it's kind of being released as a competition in terms of specs and
Yeah.
everything else, but also I think the reviews are finally coming out tomorrow. All the car reviews on the new M2.
Okay.
So that's so far we've been in the gray. We don't know what the car drives like. We just know how it looks like.
Yeah.
But press, I guess the NDAs are all coming off on Friday, and we'll see a bunch of YouTube videos on reviews and clips of its performance. I hear the gearbox has been reworked in the manual. It's fantastic. So we'll see what the new generation holds, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So M2, first pick.
thumbs up. I agree. I think that's a good pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Second pick,
Oof.
Aventador.
That's a big one.
And I chose this car for
How is that under 250,000?
used.
Is it?
Oh yeah,
Well,
there's
you
just
show me an Aventador that's under 250.
message Stradman. He bought his for like 160 somewhere.
Oh, wait, actually, we didn't clarify if it was USD or Canadian.
Well, it doesn't
Is
matter.
it
160 is still
salvage
under
title?
under 250.
Really?
Oh, but
Aventador.
No,
Yeah.
but he that was his first one that he bought like a long time ago.
Yeah.
I'm saying in this market that car is well over 250 now.
Yeah.
Let's just say it isn't.
Oh wow. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, let's go.
But I think that car, well, as you all know, the new Regulton, or what's the new one called?
Revolton.
Revolton, or
Revolton or something.
Oh, I just saw.
it's named after the bull.
I saw a reel from Matt Farah.
Yes.
And he was kind of describing what it is, the meaning of it.
It's a bull from like back in.
No, it's like mixed or scrambled or
Revolutionary kind of, isn't it? Means to go forward.
well mixed because it's a hybrid and a motor in one.
Okay.
And then the first word that came to my mind was confused.
Yeah. Yeah.
An inbred Lamborghini.
Good looking car though.
Yeah. No, but yeah, the new one just came out, and we saw the figures, we saw the numbers. Everything looks promising, and like, you know, hypercar levels of performance. But I think this was the last naturally aspirated, visceral single clutch Lamborghini.
Yeah.
You'll never see one again.
But they complained about how the single clutch was not a great shifting.
I was
So-
just gonna say like that's not in the list of the pros. That would be a con.
I think it's a pro.
Yeah.
I think it's a pro because you didn't buy this car for Nürburgring lap times.
It's a poster car.
You want the shifts to be hard, rough,
Dramatic.
and that's something a dual clutch doesn't give you.
Yeah.
It gives you the complete opposite. And I've driven single clutch cars. They have character to them, and like they're slower than a dual clutch, but they're not necessarily worse. It depends what you're buying the car for, right? But
Is there a particular like year of Aventador you're talking about?
well, if I want to stay below the 250 mark, it's not going to be an SVJ.
No, not model, but like what year? Because the one thing that would make me disagree with your pick is they actually had a long like this was produced from like 2011 to 2022.
13 years.
Yes,
Yeah,
very
12,
very
13
long.
years of production, which makes me think it wouldn't have that not collectability, but like future.
People
it's been
still-
diluted. Like there's so many.
Is there that many Aventadors?
I'm not sure what the numbers are, to be honest. I'm not gonna. We don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure of the production numbers of each year or how many they sold.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure SVs and SVJs were limited production cars anyway, so there's not that many. But like probably the SV would be the most appreciating one in my opinion.
I think in time it can do okay. I think it could just as easily depreciate in the short term.
Yeah.
But the rate of growth is not going to be as as big as some of the other picks potentially, right?
Right.
Yes.
I think some of my cars could double in 5 years. That's not doubling in 5
Well,
years.
it's already gone up quite a bit, right? So
It's going, mind you, we don't know because we're not
but-
in the future of the
But are you
hybrid
talking
cars
like
yet.
like a 2011 Aventador? Like the cheapest 2022 Aventador is over 400,000.
Can we just look it up real quick? I'm curious how much this car actually costs used. Just hit up Auto Trader or something. I don't know. Like what was the first year?
2012 or 2011.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay. So 2011 Aventador.
for
There you
sale,
go. Auto for sale.
auto,
Prices in US dollars. So
448.
448 for a 2014.
Well, fuck me.
2016, 2015.
All right.
Well, if this podcast was filmed 6 years ago, you would have a very good pick.
Yes.
It's done really well.
Well, but
So it's done really well already.
yeah,
Okay. So I assume it'll do better.
yeah.
Okay.
I don't think it would.
I think it'll do better.
I don't
think
think,
it'll-
it's plateaued.
How much?
I don't think it's
How much do you think the new regular Revolton is gonna cost?
in
if you can get one?
600-700 grand.
More.
Probably.
More.
Yeah.
It's gonna cost more.
Yeah. I mean, from that perspective, it is a bargain. And with the introduction of, with the forcing of electric vehicles and the mandates and all that, I think all of these ICE cars are going to go up in value, especially these ones that are going to be a bit of a rare
Yeah, the
one.
big V12s,
Yeah.
V10s.
For me, with my analyst coding, I would have this as a hold, not a buy, not a sell, but a hold.
So you'd buy the Cobra over the Aventador.
Yeah. If I was looking for percentage of dollar growth, I would take the.
So we should buy the RS4,
Yeah.
not the Aventador V12.
Well, first
Right.
the RS4 is 40,000.
Right.
This is 444,000. So
But I would say
ROI.
let's just say I could
ROI,
buy
Prabhul.
10% of a 444,000 is much bigger than the
Yes,
40K.
yes.
but if I had $400,000 in capital that I wanted to deploy and maximize, I would buy 10 RS4s versus one Aventador.
I think it's a sound strategy, but we did break the rules on the 250K.
Yes.
All right.
So maybe we'll axe this one.
I didn't know it appreciated that much already, guys.
But the next one is very
Next one.
interesting.
So I'm not too familiar with this generation on the left, but I watched a couple of videos and reviews on the one on the right, the recent Type R, and a lot of rave reviews. About.
It doesn't particularly look that great.
I was gonna say, but you have to look at it though.
I
That's the
honestly,
problem. Oh
I
my
don't,
God.
I don't mind it. I think it kind of looks cool. I don't mind it.
I think the previous gen looked a lot better.
I think that looked worse than.
Yes,
the new
that
phone.
this
That looked
was
worse?
I think
That's
so.
awful looking.
There's too many vents, too many holes. If that's the thing, can there be too many holes? But there's too many. There's too many holes. There's wings on top of wings.
Yeah.
but see, I know people said it was busy,
Yes.
but at least it just said, I'm going to go all out. In this variant, it's like, well, I'm not sure if I want to go all out. I want to be a bit grown up, but at the same time, I'm not sure where I am. It's a bit confused.
I know, but see, like
Is any of this aero functional?
on the previous one,
Yeah.
Seriously?
that's a Pep Boys special. Basically, that car came like riced out, I think,
Yeah.
from the factory. The one on the right looks much cleaner,
Yeah.
nicer bumpers, just sleeker in design overall.
Swan
I
neck.
mean, I like the wheels.
Yeah, they're also coming out with an Acura Type S, which is going to be the Acura version of the Honda.
Oh.
That's coming out next year. But and you back to the Honda model. Two great reviews were awesome gearbox and this is a front wheel drive car. Very, very little torque steer, almost unnoticeable. So I'm not sure if they're playing magic with assisted computers or what, but it drives very, very well balanced for a front wheel drive car, which is very important because most affordable cars for performance cars are front wheel drive.
Yeah. I mean, I give it for heritage for as long as it's been running. Like the Honda Civic Type R has been around for quite a long time.
Well, the Integra Type R
Integra Type R
was the
was
one that
OG,
kind of
right?
that's also I think
That would also be a car.
that almost doubled
would
in
be on-
price probably.
Yeah.
I disagree with this pick, and it's just because
Tell me why.
I think the variable that you don't know is they could make this for 8 more years and
They
turn
won't.
out 1 million of them.
They won't.
Well, you don't know that.
I know it.
Well, it's hard to tell.
I know because it's, you know why? It's a non-hybrid electric turbocharged naturally aspirated motor. So with a manual gearbox, I don't see this lasting that long.
You know, there's
That's a fair point.
There's been always a big debate with this car to the Subaru WRX STI and the Evo,
Yes.
and I think a lot of times when people are cross shopping these cars, they go to the Evo and the WRX.
But are there-
because of
Well,
all-wheel drive,
I think
right?
this
Right.
car
Oh,
was.
I agree. I was going to say that would be the knock against. Are there that many people clamoring for a front-wheel drive manual 4-door hot hatch? Like it seems.
Well,
like
let's go backwards a little bit. This was not in the same comparison as a Subaru STI and a Mitsubishi Evo. Those were in a class of their own.
spec wise, they're all
No.
This would be their
Less
Honda's
power.
answer to it.
Less power.
Well, how much horsepower is that?
This was like 200 and some. Those were, I think, more.
The
They were 300 or something like that.
350 maybe.
Yeah,
I don't
no, but they were also obviously the all-wheel drive was a selling point for those cars for other reasons, but this was derived off of the Integra Type R and other Honda pre-2000 kind of sport coupes, the Prelude. All those cars were kind of known for their sportiness, front-wheel drive power plants, right? So I don't think it's comparable to an Evo or a Subaru STI, but I still think it's like, for example, if you compare it to a Volkswagen GTI, it's front-wheel drive. That's where this compares, in my opinion, not to an STI or an Evo. It's more on par with like a GTI.
I just remember when there was the wars between the STI, the Evo, the Civic Type R was always kind of in the mix somehow. Maybe.
Well, the
this
Evo
was
10 was like that was a Lamborghini killer.
Yeah,
back
that
in the
was-
day, so I don't
yeah.
know. To Lucas's
Perhaps-
point, it might not. Exactly
It was in different.
fit.
It was in different tier of performance.
Okay.
But-
But the Evo had multiple variants though. They had the high horsepower.
Yeah, the
version,
Evos
too.
were very
I'm
popular.
thinking of the Evo 10 was the.
Well,
was
they
that
they
the
had
lead
a
one?
over 400 horsepower.
That was the
variant.
one. I think that's the Evo 10.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
But there was even more powerful one. There was like a Type 2 variant. I don't remember, but I think a while back, I almost bought an Evo one day.
Really?
Yeah, but I backed out of it.
So what made you look at like an Evo compared to what you're
I
normally?
just wanted something fun.
Instead of the GT3 RS.
Yeah.
I was going to trade the 911 on
You,
it.
you wanted more wings, eh?
This is when I was transitioning from
Heterosexuality. Edit that out.
no
Eric.
I had an
Oh.
RX-8 and I was transitioning out of an RX-8 into something more fun.
Okay.
And I thought, hey, well, why not an Evo?
Is that after your RX-8 blew up?
Almost.
Almost.
I was trying to offload it. I was like, I don't want it anymore. It's a ticking time bomb. But instead, I went with the sensible approach and got an A4 instead. Entered the world of Germans.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Anyways. But good choice.
Anyways,
Worth
I
keeping an
miss
eye
these kind of cars. This maybe is a more modern example of what many would choose for an appreciating car, but the older, like Integra Type R at 2002, Championship White,
Yeah.
red interior, like I think that's a great car, lightweight. I think front wheel drive gave you a different kind of experience,
Yeah.
not necessarily a negative one, but for that era, that was the sports car to get, right?
Yeah. Yeah, for me, I'm kind of biased towards rear-wheel drive and all-wheel drive now.
Once you try it, it's hard to go back. That's
Yeah.
the problem, right? Like if you experience rear-wheel drive,
Yeah.
you don't want to go back to front-wheel drive.
It's almost like a true sports car, you know?
Yes, and it's
I hate to say this, but I think I say that to myself, but I know those cars drive so well. Even though it's front-wheel drive,
Yeah.
it doesn't do... Yeah, anyway.
we should go on a test drive.
So I know we'll come to conclusion on this one. I think it could be worth more based on what you're saying. You're right. It's probably, but I don't think it's anything more distinct than other ICE cars that are going to
Yeah.
come to a conclusion with manual transmissions.
Yeah.
Like it could be worth, but I think it's a bit of a gamble. Whereas
I
I
still
think like the M2 is a sure thing.
Yes.
I agree with you. Like I think that is
A competition or a CS, if
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can get one. Oof.
So
Good picks.
yeah,
Aventador, we have to disqualify.
I didn't.
shit. I honestly didn't know it was worth that much now. Like
Yeah.
last time I checked, they were, especially in US dollars, they were below 200, and now it's like 488,000 for 2012. So
That's
crazy,
nuts.
it's insane. So maybe it's a
It's still a moneymaker.
it's a moneymaker. The question is, will it appreciate even more?
Yeah.
Right, because
Has
it's
it
already
plateaued?
doubled in value from
Yeah.
used prices.
Yeah.
All right. So
you're you're one of two, I think.
I 100%
M2,
M2
yeah,
competition.
all in.
Definitely get one. Hopefully my new M2 would sort of fit that bill with you as well.
I'm pumped to see the reviews, and
Yeah.
obviously I'm even more pumped to see yours. So
Okay.
So again, me being indecisive, I had to debate between new and used, and I had to try and decide what was the right way to shortlist this. I think the 993, the 996, and the what was this one? 993,
Yep.
not the turbo, the 993
4S,
4S,
yes,
or Carrera S, not even the 4S. The Carrera S in that generation.
it's not a wide body.
It is wide body.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So
I thought only the 4S was a wide body.
no, in the 993, even the Carrera S was wide body.
Okay.
I didn't know that.
Neither
But
did I.
If you can get a wide body with the factory aero kit, slam dunk.
Okay.
But they're around
they're-
100 and almost close to 200 grand.
I
right
would think they're
Yeah.
they're hitting 200 almost.
now. So if you can get it, would it be a future? Would it appreciate even more? I think so.
I think they capped out.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think.
Why?
I'm not
Why
sure.
do you think that?
Maybe in like a lot of years, but $200,000 for a car that age is already a lot of money, in my opinion. I just don't see it appreciating another 10 or 15%.
But I disagree because it's not. They're not versus your Honda Civic. They're not making any more of this. This is the last of the air-cooled 911s.
That's the biggest piece.
Right?
The air, it's like a modern classic.
Yeah.
You know, you
There's
can get a
scarcity.
964. Yeah.
Right.
I think the 993 is a good buy over the 964. For me, I know 964 has been popularized by all the resto mods and things like that.
Yeah.
But
By Singer.
I mean, there's other resto mod
Yeah.
shops that
Yeah.
modify them as well.
RWB.
Yeah.
Gunter Works.
Yeah.
What's the one with the K?
Kega?
Yeah, Kega, I think it's
Yeah.
another one.
I just love the purity of this car.
I do too. It's
Yeah,
beautiful.
I think it looks great.
I would leave it untouched the way it is with the aero kit. It's going to be an amazing car. If you can get it for good value, it's going to appreciate over the next 3-4 years.
Actually, I'm not sure if you know Meng's cousin. He actually bought a 4S exactly like that.
Oh, I remember.
think he bought it for $40,000.
No way.
Yes, and he's had it for 10 years or like 8 years, something like
Freaking-
that.
he's-
40 grand.
Hey, he's smiling right
Yeah.
now. But is that the same car that someone drove and
Yes,
kind of
and-
burned a clutch?
Yeah, it's the one.
Oh, we were there that day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was painful.
And you know what? He didn't look it, but he was crying
I know.
inside.
He was strong.
Yeah, he was
to
strong.
Hold that
Right.
back.
Yeah. I would have cried.
So I kind of wanted something classic, and that's why I kind of had a 911. I know we said don't bring a 911 into the mix, but if this 993 Carrera S with the aero kit is inaccessible, I would love to do a 993 GT2.
996.
GT2.
But that has to be. I think
That's more than
they're
250.
200 grand.
That's more.
for a 996
Auto Trader.
GT2.
Auto Trader.
Well, you're not going to find it. Like it's a very unusual.
No, it's for sale for sure. No one's buying that car for 300 grand.
You think that there's going to be a 996 GT2
Yes.
on Auto Trader?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
Classics. Oh, here. This guy will have it. 996 theparking.ca.
424,000.
226. There you go.
Okay, so you're just on the edge,
That's
I
in
guess.
American.
Oh, you're over.
You're over.
Oh, join the club of Aventador versus
270
GT2.
274 American,
American.
for GT2.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Look at this.
424 for.
Yeah.
So, okay. It's based on mileage. These cars that are high priced like this, they're low mileage cars.
Yeah. What's low mileage? 7,000 kilometers.
Yeah, that's low.
Yeah.
I would look for a car, like I said, 8,000 kilometers per year.
This might be in Canadian dollars because
It
the
is
mileage is
.ca.
okay. Yeah.
So
that's Canadian.
I am close. I
You're
fit the
close.
bill.
You're close.
It's coming out of the U.S., but it's still in Canadian
Yeah.
prices.
Like 15,000 kilometers is low mileage.
Yeah. That's,
I'd even take like 40,000 kilometers, and the price is even lower. I saw one last year It was just on the market for a long time, not
So
being
tell me
sold.
about the GT2. So that would be so I had the
It's
911
a rear-wheel drive turbo.
Rear-wheel
Yeah.
drive.
Yeah.
Was this the first? No, that wasn't the first GT2. They had a GT2 in previous iterations.
Yes.
That's rare.
But this is the first
That's
water.
very rare.
But this is the first water-cooled GT2.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So what? 400 and how many horsepower?
I don't know the horsepower. See, again, for me, horsepower was never a big thing. I wanted the driving feel. I wanted to be as raw as possible, and getting it from these cars is the way to go.
I also think that the 996 looked the best in GT2 application.
Yeah, like,
Or certainly the wide body.
Well, wide
I
body-
thought the C4S and the 996 looked okay as well.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, but if you look at a GT2 with all the fenders,
But the front bumper was the best of its from the choices you had from previous models.
Yeah.
It had the turbo vent in the fender. It had a unique wing spoiler that was still proportional to the car, but not overwhelming. It was a very good looking 996, which
Yeah.
is not really the case for a lot of them, right? So
Yeah. But I still didn't put a checkbox beside it because there are other cars that I wanted to
yeah.
talk about.
Okay.
So the next one on my list was the Lotus Emira.
Brand new.
Brand new. Again, if you can get one of those, they're mass producing them in some ways. It's
Yes.
going to be lots of it. There's going to be hundreds.
Well,
of
mass producing, that's not like they're not making 100,000 cars.
no, like maybe 1,000,
15. Oh, that little? 1,000? No, more than that.
2,000 maybe.
No, more than that for
Okay,
sure.
maybe. Well, for Canada, I mean.
Oh, for Canada.
For Canada, it'd be
yeah,
less than 1,000.
yeah. But worldwide, I'd say closer to probably like 5 or 10,000. Yeah.
I mean, that's not a big number. That's like GT3 volumes, right?
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah.
And there's talks of them doing a GT4 and a Mira GT4 that looks like that will just be so cool.
So you're picking a car
That doesn't exist.
putting the Prabhul guarantee, and it doesn't even exist.
No, but I'm checking it because the car will have mods.
In this,
Yeah, come on.
I've got some Florida coastal property I want to sell you, Prabhul. You won't lose a cent.
So I just think it's a great buy to hold on to it, and especially with mods that are going to come out that could potentially make it look like that.
Okay.
I think I don't. I mean, it's a beautiful
let's
car.
Let's just stick with the Mira.
I just yeah,
Yeah.
okay, stick with the Emira.
Okay, fine.
But I also think like you got to be like you don't know what's going to happen with this car.
Hey, just like every other car that we
What if it comes out and it is panned because it's a mechanical disaster?
It's already out. It's already had
It's
reviews.
been reviewed.
It's
People
perfect.
are raving about
Yeah,
the
but
car.
if people live with the car, like
I mean, this is a sports car for the Canyon twisties and things like that. It's not your daily usable.
Great
car.
motor.
Yeah.
Natural aspirated.
so
amazing
it's got a-
gearbox.
it's got a
Lightweight.
Toyota or a Mercedes motor.
Toyota motor,
motor.
manual.
Yeah.
That's what you would
That's
do.
what I would do. I wouldn't do the Mercedes.
So you got the 6-cylinder.
Yeah, they've been doing bad in F1, so don't get the Mercedes.
So you're taking it's not the manual then. I thought the manual was with the Mercedes.
No, vice
I've
versa.
got the vice versa. Okay.
Manuals with the Toyota motor, the V6, supercharged.
Which is, I think, everyone says it's the better motor.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree. And the motor and transmission pairing
Yes.
with the manual.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get the Mercedes for like fast paddle shifts, dual clutch, or whatever it is. But
How much
I
is
don't
that
like
car
it.
worth?
150 to 180.
Okay. It's a beautiful car.
Yeah. Just from its looks alone, there's a lot of heritage that goes into this car as well. It's supposed to replace a lot of sports cars in Lotus's lineup, right? And this is the last of the gasoline cars that they're going to make. After this, it's all electric.
See, Eric wasn't in Montreal when you sat and touched this
Yeah.
car, but we were next to it. It's a mini 488 at a really great price. That's very visceral.
What was it? It was a mini McLaren almost too.
Oh, mini
What was that?
McLaren. It has a lot of 488 vibes in the back, where the door meets the rear fender.
Yeah.
Yeah, above the rear. You're right.
Yeah. But it's a more compact version. But it checks all the boxes for a driver's car, in my opinion.
It looks very close to the Arturo, the McLaren Arturo.
Yes.
As well. The
Yeah.
side profile is pretty much that, but it's a miniaturized version of that Arturo.
Yeah.
It's like the British kind of went to the same design house and said, "Hey, give me a design for a car." And they
Well, Lotus has been like, this is a killer
Lotus-
design. I love this.
I
look
think
at this
Lotus
car.
has always been great on design. Their cars always have looked good.
I love the last generation Exige, the one we never got in Canada. There's such low
410?
numbers. 410, I think. There was
That's really cool.
There's a few of them, but
Yeah.
There's one guy I think I posted on Instagram. He has like a custom painted purple one with custom interior. It's got HRE R101s on it. It looks so good.
Yeah.
Like great looking car.
That's amazing. I'll go through this fast because we're starting to get up on 45 minutes now. So I think an Emira is a good buy.
Yep.
So if you can get on a list and you're able to attain one, get it, hold on to it, 5 years.
Yeah.
I think
If not, Prabhul selling an allocation for $10,000.
there you go. Please no, let me drive it first. The next car on my list, I wanted an American muscle car in the mix.
Yep.
And I think the Mustang GT350R,
The R. Okay.
or the GT350 or the R, whichever variant that you can get your hands on, is a great buy. Manual, flat plane crank V8, sounds amazing,
Looks really good too.
looks amazing.
I love this car.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Did you know that there is a wide body variant of this car?
I saw one on Tuesday.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I
What's the
saw one
wide
on
body?
Tuesday. It's I forget what it's called. It's in Greeley, where I was.
It was there last year.
This huge car collector. He's got 75 cars. I got a tour. I think it's worth about 200. It'd be close to the wide body. Be 250.
But is it a factory wide body
Yeah.
option?
Yes.
Really?
It's
Yeah.
a factory wide body option.
Wow.
Super rare, but it sat for a very long time. I think he got it for less than 250.
Yeah. I
It
think
was around 200 grand.
that's so weird. I just saw that car.
That's amazing.
4 days ago.
Yeah.
or 2 days ago.
So that's the car. I mean, if you can't get the wide body, that's fine. Even the GT350 or the
Yeah.
R.
Yeah, and actually gets great value because like before I bought my current M3, I actually cross shopped with this car, and the R was actually kind of a funny purchase because everybody wanted the R because it was like the track
focus.
But
focused one.
it's gutted. No back seats.
Yes.
So and what they did, they basically the R comes with no navigation, no stereo,
Yep.
and then you had
can
to
add it back.
you had to pay for the stuff to get it back.
Right, yeah.
So honestly, the non-R was a better buy in my opinion for a street kind
use
of
as well.
Yeah, to actually drive it, you would not want the R.
But you can get the R looks with the bigger wings, bigger.
Yes.
Cool about the R, I don't know if you guys carbon fiber wheels.
That's the
Yeah.
only reason why I wouldn't do the R. I
Okay.
don't want the carbon
Right.
fiber wheels.
You
I'd
just,
probably
the
change
level
them
of
anyways.
anxiety.
I'd probably change them.
Well,
anyways.
so
Yeah.
the situation that happened with Shmi, if you remember,
He had
was
to have one shipped into
on his
Toronto.
road trip
Right.
in the U.S. on the highways there. He hit a pothole that cracked the carbon fiber wheel.
Yeah, right.
Just to replace it, he had to go through hoops and loops, and there was a Canadian dealership that actually bailed him out
Yeah.
and got him a spare wheel. From
His
one
was a
of-
GT500 though, I think.
Yeah, but it's a carbon fiber wheel.
Yeah.
And it's just the hassle of having to replace a carbon fiber wheel,
Yeah.
which is so rare to get.
That's why I said I'm not buying a Koenigsegg. I just don't want it.
That's it. So then I think that the GT350, you can get them 50 to 60. And I agree. I think that's money in the bank.
Yeah.
It's
No,
500.
these are more than 50,
the
60.
350R is more.
Yeah.
yeah. 350, yeah.
Yeah.
But the 350 you can get, and it's 526 horsepower.
and it sounds
It
great.
sounds amazing.
The sound is what, and they don't make these cars anymore.
No.
With
No.
Ford, you
Yeah.
can't buy them.
Right.
So, must buy.
I agree.
I agree with that one.
Totally.
Last on the list.
Oh, you get
looking
4?
at-
I only had 3.
oh, wait. How many did I pick? Okay, fine. We'll skip that. Just as a bonus in terms of
No R8, not allowed.
no.
We talked about that last week.
Yeah.
Okay, let's skip
R8
that one.
skip.
I
Another Lotus.
another Lotus.
Yep.
Mainly because it's a Evora GT with back seats.
It's
so it's
kind
a
of-
911 competitor.
That doesn't have back seats.
Yeah, it does.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
What kind of chub fits in that back of that car? Tell me.
It has back seats.
No,
It's smaller than the 911 back seats, but it has them.
Are you sure about
Yeah.
that? Show me pictures. I don't believe you. There's no way.
Yeah.
Are you? Yeah, but look at the leg room.
Oh, that's for a tall.
Your
person.
cat can't fit there.
That's for a tall person. You just go to fetal position and you can
All
sit
right,
back there.
whatever. I'll give you the back seats.
All right.
But no one's buying that car for the back seats. That's a grocery shelf.
I just think it's one of those 911 recipes.
Yeah,
You know-
they didn't do.
Huh?
The Porsche, they failed at that. They made the GT3 Tourings with no rear seats.
Yeah.
Big fail.
I mean, you can get a 911 and a regular 911
same.
that competes with the Evora GT.
Yeah.
But that's, I think, an alternative to 911 ethos if you wanted something else, which I think will go up in value if you can hold on to one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I like you had the R8 V10. I definitely agree. I think that we talked about it last week. That will be a moneymaker. The Mustang for sure. What were the other? I don't know. But this is my.
I knew you
I
were
don't
gonna
know
crap
about the
on this
Lotus.
one. Yeah.
No, I'm not going to crap. It's a beautiful car. I think it could depreciate for a little bit and
go
then
back
maybe pop up 20 years.
But just keep this in mind. This is a car that's not even out yet. But this is, like he mentioned, this is arguably the last Lotus or any kind of sports coupe from 2023 or 2024 that's going to be naturally aspirated, manual,
we say that about every
lightweight.
you would say, okay, you should get the next Toyota Corolla.
That's actually the GR.
GR,
That's
yeah.
a great buy.
No, it's not, because those 3-cylinders are imploding. Apparently,
It's not a 3-cylinder.
Is it?
No.
GR
Okay,
is a
okay.
3-cylinder.
Look at Google
No,
search.
no. Let's stay on. Let's stay because we got to
He's
wrap.
bashing my GR.
No, the Corolla GR has
you
been
guys know-
falling apart.
Comment away.
Comment below.
Yes.
Is the GR 3-cylinder? Prove this man wrong.
There's something
I'll do it in
about
post.
Okay.
the money shift where you're downshifting that the motors are you're throwing.
I mean, but that's the
throwing
same
rods.
with like a,
Yeah, any car.
No,
Camaro.
but it's. Anyways, you'll find it. You'll get home and both Google while you're put your head on.
Yeah,
the
Eric
pillow
was shopping
tonight.
for a GR.
I'll just ask for. I'll ask ChatGPT. It
All right,
might know.
Okay,
Fine.
right.
Now, do we have dogs?
Yeah. So that's why I want to get
Okay,
to
all right, okay.
right now. So let's quickly go to the ones that we think are overhyped and potentially tank because you're overpaying for it today.
Wow. Okay.
We've got quite a bit here, so let's move through it fast. I think the Tesla Model S Plaid is one of those things that are going to tank.
Airboat
Agreed.
tank. Yeah.
Totally
It's-
agree.
It's a refrigerator on wheels.
Yeah.
And any appliance that you buy over time.
Well, it does. It looks really good though, but
No, but it's not. To your point, the batteries once they go, who's going to want to inherit that headache of buying a 10-year-old Tesla Model Plaid?
yeah, I think no electric cars of that nature are going to appreciate. To be honest.
Yes. Agreed.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can see it today.
Yeah.
You buy it. There's demand for it.
Yeah.
People are overpaying for it. But as a result of you overpaying it, a couple of years down the road, you're going to lose that money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought the i8.
Yep.
Ugh.
Agreed.
Hate that car.
I think it's already tanked,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So if you want a El Cheapo,
Are they still
sports
making
car-
i8? I don't think so.
No, they're not still making it.
Okay.
I don't think they're still
no,
making it.
it's just whatever.
I never liked that car. I thought it was such a fail for to make us kind of. They had a position to make a supercar at BMW and bring back the M1 in a modern term, in not modern days, and they made a hybrid. I think the tires were like 215s all around.
They put
Like,
bicycle wheels on it.
Oh my
fat
God.
bike wheels.
And
Yeah.
there was such tuck in the wheels, I
Yeah.
remember.
and the biggest thing is you saw it in the showroom next to like an M4, M5, or M8,
Had more
and it
power.
had more power, nicer seats. Then you get in this car, and it feels like an i3 inside. It just didn't cut it for me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. Who put the Acura?
I put the Acura up there as well. I think
Yeah.
it's another one of those overhyped cars that I think will tank.
I disagree.
Potentially. Yeah.
I think it's actually underhyped
Yeah.
because everyone's looking at these R8s and other cars, and that's actually a really good. It's a beautiful sculpted car for.
It is a beautiful car.
It's a beautiful car. Has great power. I don't think it's. I think it might actually appreciate.
The car did appreciate over the last 2 years, right? I
Yeah.
just think if you paid more than MSRP for this car
I
and
think
you
you-
hold on to it,
Yeah,
I think you're gonna lose a little bit of that money.
but I think nobody paid over MSRP for an Acura.
Oh, in the last 2
Well,
years.
last 2
I'd say.
years.
For this car?
Yeah.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
sure people did, yeah.
Everything exploded, right? Like in terms
Yeah.
of pricing. But anyways, I'll stop talking. I'll go to your pick, Eric. You had something.
Wait,
in
what?
the
Wait,
doc-
but the Ferrari? What's that?
Oh, yeah, who put the Ferrari on there?
So I put the Ferrari in there as well. I think
Is that the California?
it's the California replacement, the Portofino.
The Portofino.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good looking car,
Yeah.
but again, it's a lot of money. It's too expensive for what it is.
So I think it's not a great.
How much is that? 250
More.
grand?
No, it's
More.
like 350.
And you know,
380?
Drive with Dre.
Yeah,
there.
Drive with Dre has
So he
one.
had one of those. Great spec. He had an awesome
White
spec. It
with
was
blue
blue interior,
seats,
like
yeah.
very nice. But the only problem I have with this car is that it doesn't look Ferrari-esque enough.
That's my point.
It's
yeah.
a Ferrari that doesn't look like a Ferrari.
Yeah. And the California was one out of it sat out
And
outside of all
California did tank.
It did
So
horrible.
If that's the future,
This is
you're
meant-
right. I think you could be right.
Yeah.
Not that we're not saying it's a lemon of a car.
No.
It's just, I think you're right. If I had money to invest in a car, I would not buy that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if you want a car that looks beautiful, it drives well,
Yeah.
sounds good, then go for it. I think it's a good buy.
I don't think it even looks that beautiful though.
Yeah.
I think it doesn't have. It looks great there. I'm not sure what ChatGPT did to this image, but it's not as wide. It's a bit taller. It's more of an everyday Ferrari at a high price tag.
It's an entry level Ferrari.
Yeah.
If you wanted to go in there and get one of those new SF90 or whatever, the dealerships will say, go
Buy four
this
of these first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
one. Lose a bit of money, and then we'll come back and talk. Then the other one that you...
So I'll start with on the bottom there. I said both a Dodge Charger and a Dodge Challenger, which you put up there, the Hellcats.
Man, that looks good though.
Yeah,
I like that.
Okay, but put a Charger up there.
I don't know.
And-
No,
and
keep
the-
that one there.
But the way
that one looks
the way I would
good.
see it is, I think Chrysler produced 50,000 Hellcat Charger Challengers. They
Yeah.
put the Hellcat in it. I think what makes me think they're not going to be worth more is that the way that they've been bought. And what I mean by that is like you've got people that finance these things for 96 months at a $1,200 a month payment, and they're down there, they're in the pits, they're doing the burnouts, and I just think that when economic crisis hits, they'll be the first to go, right? The people that'll be underwater in their payments, they won't be able to keep up, and I think the market would flood, and I think they're just a car that have been,
Yeah, I can
have
see
a
that.
propensity to be beaten on.
Yeah.
Like, and they're crazy money right now. Like it's $100,000 car.
Yeah.
It looks
a
good.
I think the Challenger looks good. I never
agree.
loved the Charger.
You know, when I see the Honda, which one's which again? I forget.
That's the Charger.
The Charger is a police car. I can't. Sorry, all I see is police car. I just can't do it.
Right.
You know.
And it's got 700 horsepower.
Police
You're gonna get
car.
The comments are going to say,
Yeah.
"Oh, that police car will dust your M3."
Yeah. It probably would, but I'm not. I like the other one.
Yeah.
Then it comes across a bend and it's like, boom,
Right.
off it goes. To the
But
cliff.
I just think like there's that flex that you see in social media where people are like thinking it's a point of pride to have a high car payment, and these guys saying I'm 96 months into my Charger and I'm paying $1,200 a month to drive a Charger. It's insane.
Yeah.
So I think there's that happens at scale.
Has a Hemi though.
No, it has a Hellcat, not the Hemi. It's got
it's
Sorry.
the 700 and whatever horsepower.
Is it not a Hemi still?
There's the there's the Hemi variant as well.
What's a blown Hemi? Is that not what it is?
No, I don't think so.
Comment below if you know what it
There
is.
you go. I don't know what I honestly don't know what motor it's got in. It does have a blower, but
Something
Yeah.
snake.
That's Super Snake. That's
Super
Mustang.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But there is a variant of this that's SRT.
There's the
something.
Demon. They just
Yeah.
come out with the new. There's a new one they came out with that's like 1,100 or 1,000 horsepower.
Yeah, and that's like a Hemi
Yeah.
type motor in there.
No, and they have these special iterations. I'm just talking about the Charger and Challenger Hellcats.
But guess what? That's probably a good time for us to wait for those cars to enter the market, and it'll be cheaper because it's kind of like foreclosure type scenarios.
Do you want to drive that? Like you want to own that?
I'd own that.
I would own that.
that
they have a wide body.
So that is the wide
One.
body.
Yeah.
That's the flared version. That's the
No, I think Salamandrin did that Helgato or whatever you called it. That had the actual wide.
no. That has the wide fenders. You can see them.
No, I know they're flared, but I think there's one that's
Even
actually
wider?
has a wider track.
Okay.
Interesting.
Not just.
But this
wide.
looks great. I love it. I think it's a great like
Yeah.
vintage modern looking muscle car with like a proper motor.
But for 70, 80 grand, would you buy it thinking, oh, I'll be able to sell it for more in 2 years?
No,
Right.
no.
Well, I have other picks, but if I wanted to,
But he's right. It's a dog. Where not that it's a bad car, but it's not an appreciating car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the market's going to get flooded
Yep.
with these.
So your number one pick from your 5 you chose or 8, whatever you. Number one pick.
that's hard, man.
One. We're summing it up. Gotta do one car.
I'll take the Amira.
Amira.
It's
Eric?
attainable.
I think I like all my picks.
Gotta choose
Honestly, I
one.
think they're all good. I'll go with the Audi RS4.
Oh, Tarsi's gonna be
I think
happy.
it's the lowest entry point of
Yeah.
the three. I
Good
think,
choice.
right
Good choice. Okay. And I'll choose the M2.
Yeah, because the other options were defaulted.
duds.
Shut up.
Well, let's wrap this up. I thought that was really good. Thank you for bringing up your top picks. What do you all think? Would you have picked a similar type of car as well? Let us know in the comments below. This one was quick. It was fun. I like doing these sort of weekly challenges.
Yeah.
If you have thoughts on what we should do as a weekly challenge, let us know in the comments below as well, and we'll try to get to it.
Yeah,
and
let's
this
do
was
it.
a topic that came up from one of your comments on Instagram
I think so.
posts,
Yeah,
right?
they had a reply or a DM on it.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So thank you for all of the support and the feedback. Appreciate you watching these episodes, and we'll see you all in the next one. Oh, I forgot. Like, subscribe, do all
The
those things as
notification
well.
bell.
Yeah,
There you go. I was going to say.